What's going on, Brad?
Hey, Cynthia.
How's it going?
It's going really well. I feel like our pre-interviews or our pre-show is even better than the pre-show
I know.
because
Yeah,
we've
we have
been
to start.
like on a roller coaster of emotions for the past 20 minutes.
We have been. We have to actually start recording those because I think people would enjoy that. Just some,
Totally.
some some additional content. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but what's on tap for the real after show?
The real after show is with Marnie Nir, who is part of the Handel group. So for anyone who listened to the Lauren Zander episodes, there are two of them. Which Lauren is this hilarious life coach. I call her kind of like coach to the stars because she's she's like entered that realm. She coaches like really big corporate clients as well as folks like Halle Berry are reading Lauren's book and are I guess no like in the know about who Lauren is and then her sister, this is her sister actually, Marnie, is also a coach. But I think one of the funnier things that stood out to me was how Marnie ended up becoming a coach, because she talks about how, and I read it in the bio, but Marnie was like this. Her major was as like some expert in Slavic history, which is crazy and weird. But she starts out there and then ends up having children and not loving who she was becoming as a mom. Sounds like she was becoming her mom. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but says she's becoming her mom and not loving that she's becoming her mom. And Lauren kind of calls her out and is like, hey, you are becoming our mom. Like, this needs to change. And like, how can we get you unstuck essentially? And Marnie, always, I guess, loved to write and kind of found or had this vision, I guess, of herself, being a writer. And I don't know if Hulu was like her end goal, but winning an Emmy, something along those lines, like her winning an Emmy for her writing. So anyway, Lauren coaches her until the point that Marnie actually does, in fact, like get this screenplay that she wrote picked up by Hulu in Canada, and the kind of the rest is history. But as a result of Lauren coaching Marnie, the I don't know what to call it, the offer back that Marnie had to give was that she would then become a coach and pay it forward to someone else. So that's like this really, like, to me, this really funny and also relevant story for anyone who's stuck. If Marnie can do it, you can do it too. She literally went from being on her couch and being a mom to then being a writer for Hulu. So a very, very cool story. And now she's a life coach, and yeah, she's hilarious to listen to.
And I want to point out that Marnie told the story nothing like that. So Marnie,
Yeah,
no, the story is right, but the way she tells it is completely
yes,
different. As
yeah,
she'll happily tell you, she has the mouth of a trucker. I think that's what it was. Like she just has the most filthy sense of humor, but it's absolutely hilarious the way
yeah,
she tells it. She's
yeah,
so self-deprecating. She makes fun of herself endlessly. That's part of her
yeah,
power. Is
yes,
that like if you come to her with the problem, she's gonna
yes,
tell you how she had that same problem and like in
yeah,
a 10 times more embarrassing way than
yeah,
you did.
yeah,
So I think that's like her coaching superpower. But I was just like laughing the whole episode while she was
yeah,
giving these gems of wisdom and
yeah,
telling her story. I mean, it's pretty amazing that she went from not really writing too much to actually getting a series produced with a major
yeah,
star on
yeah,
Hulu.
yeah.
Which is really cool.
It is very cool. Yeah, she started writing for like a very, very small paper actually, and that was like, she got a column, and that was like her first step really into becoming a writer, and then from there continued to navigate those waters. And she talks about how when Lauren was coaching her, like she took these, she had to do these bold moves. I think, that's part of what the coaching is about. Lauren's style coaching essentially is about these bold actions, taking bold action towards your dreams. And for Marnie, some of that was like reaching out to these famous directors and producers. And, she says like, she had lunch with one of them. Like she reached out to them, found them on IMDb, reached out, did lunch, and then, reached out and was like, look, I don't know if this is even something that you'll entertain, but I have to write this email to you because it's like my one. I love how she describes it. Like it's her one bold move that she has to do to complete her week and complete her coaching.
Yeah.
And she's expecting nothing back. And he immediately emails her back and is like, yeah, let's let's see, like, show me what you got. And then they end up doing lunch, and, it's just those types of stories to me that are really relevant for when you are in that space of like, oh, I shouldn't reach out to so-and-so, or I shouldn't do this because you're second guessing yourself, but it's just stupid because you don't know when you're going to get that yes and who it's going to come from. And it could come from like a really fun place that you just never expected it to come from. So I don't know. I'm talking.
I mean, do you have any idea how hard it is to get a Hollywood person to read your screenplay?
Yes.
That's the holy grail. You're there. You're trying to get in front of them. Yeah. That's step one. But they actually get to read it and then have lunch with you. So it helps to have a really good screenplay.
Totally.
But I mean, I love so she would agree to do these 3 big actions per day. And if she didn't do that, there'd be a consequence, which for her, she couldn't have her evening wine.
Yeah.
And that was like usually enough to like get her to not, to do the tasks, no matter how hard they were.
Yeah.
And she talked about like how keeping promises to yourself that are in alignment with your dream starts to make the dream possible. So even if you like are continually like, well, I'm going to write 15 minutes a day, and then you don't do that, the next time you ask yourself to do something, your brain's like, you're not going to do that.
Right.
And you won't do it. And it kind of like goes on and goes on. So if you can get yourself to do like a simple thing that you agreed to do, instead of consequences, actually honor it. Don't give yourself the treat if you didn't earn it. Then you can kind of build the muscle. That's what she said. Build the muscle. And then to the point where it's strong enough that when it's time to apply for whatever, to get the screenplay in front of the big deal person, you know that you can do it. Like you've proven, you've created integrity with yourself.
Absolutely.
She said, like, don't F up your relationship with yourself by breaking your promises.
Yeah. And I think that's a big one. I don't know if people think about it that way, but, I think part of what Lauren's system does, and I think Marnie and I actually talk about this in the episode, is that, if you're unable to be in integrity with yourself and keep promises that you've made to yourself, whether that's big goals or even your small goals, then if you're not going to do that, then you're not going to have integrity with the other relationships and people that you have in your life, or it's going to be inconsistent in some way. And I think that's, I don't know, that like for me, that really is the cornerstone of like how I operate. It's why like when I say I'm going to do something, less like I tell you or email you or text you that like I'm sick and I can't, or something else has come up or whatever. But I really do believe that like when you say something or, put something down on paper or, schedule a meeting, like you do it, you follow through. And I for anyone who is stuck and is, trying to get themselves unstuck, I think that I can't speak for Lauren's method, but I do feel like in general, for me, that is like one of the biggest things that like has in terms of pushing forward a goal is like one of the best ways that you can do that, because you then learn that you can depend on yourself, and that makes everything else possible, quite honestly.
When you can depend on yourself, life gets a lot easier because you can control that. You know what I mean? You can't control what other people do, but when you control your own actions, you're fully in control. Then you can do some stuff. Yeah. I hope everybody will check this episode out. It's episode 81. I speak B and then the word rhymes with itch with Marnie Nir of the Handel Group.
Can we say biatch? Is that
biatch,
like, is that, I speak biatch?
I don't like to swear on the air. I don't know.
A better way of saying it? I don't know.
I have this
like ephemeral.
Like I have a little brother and the big brother, big sister. I'm always like, is he gonna listen to my episode and be like, oh, yeah, Brian swears. So I don't. So Nasir, okay, I didn't do it.
No. I did. Sort of.
Cynthia sort of did. But anyway, it's a great episode. You can find that at goldmagic.co. Just click podcast or wherever you get your podcasts. You can click that and then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. But I think it's a good one.
Cool. Yeah, she was a lot of fun. We're both middle children too, and we were having a good time riffing on that. So check it out. Right. Always fun, Brennan.
See you on the next after show.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.
All right, peace.
Peace.